So, it's week 12, Barclays Premier League. This is the prediction show, and after another hectic midweek matches in Europe, Champions League and Europa League, we're back to another round of Premier League action. This is the last one, I think, before the next international break. So let's get started then. On Friday night there's a game, and it's the bottom of the table clash between Norwich and Watford. Both sides really struggling, and Norwich, after their initial euphoria after beating Man City, have really plummeted. However, Watford haven't been exactly hitting the high spots. I'm expecting this to be a dur struggle, and I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Now to Saturday's matches. There are 6 of them, and the early kick-off is at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Crystal Palace. Palace were really disappointing last weekend when they lost at home to Leicester. Chelsea on a high, but they've got to recover from that amazing match in midweek, the 4-4 draw against Ajax. I think they're going to be too good for Palace. I'm taking Chelsea to win by 3-1. Over at 2 Turf Moor then, Burnley against West Ham. West Ham were woeful against Newcastle. The 2-3 score flattered them really, and I think they've got some serious problems. Burnley, well, surprisingly they got put to the sword as well by Chelsea, so they're both struggling, these teams, and looking for a win. I'm going for a narrow scoreline in favour of Burnley. I'm taking them to take this match by 2-1. Now to St James's Park, where Newcastle are at home to Bournemouth, both coming off wins, so they will have a degree of confidence. I was particularly impressed by Newcastle, and Bournemouth finally getting a win on the table and a goal against Manchester United. I'm expecting them to follow up with some goals. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Southampton are at home to Everton. Southampton restored a little bit of pride last weekend with that stoic performance against City. Everton, of course, got the 1-1 draw with a very late goal against Everton, marred, of course, by the incident involving Gomez. I'm expecting this to be a bit of a struggle, really. Not great for the spectators. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. To the new White Hart Lane now. Spurs once again jubilant in Europe against a very, very average Red Star Belgrade side, it has to be said. They're at home to high-flying Sheffield United. Well, I'm expecting Spurs with Kane back and Dele back, I'm expecting them to improve, and I'm going for a 2-1 win for Spurs. Now to the Leicester versus Arsenal. The King Power Stadium is witnessing some terrific football of late. Leicester, their team is full of young, enterprising stars, and I think they're going to be far too strong for the Gunners, who once again stumbled in Europe and basically looked out of sorts for a number of weeks. I'm taking Leicester to win this game by 3-1. Now to the Sunday fixtures, and we start at Old Trafford with Manchester United at home to Brighton. Another solid performance in Europa League, beating Partizan by 3-0. Some good goals in that hat-trick, and I'm expecting them to continue and taking this game against Brighton and winning it by 3-1. Wolves got a very late winner against Slovan Bratislava in the Europa League, which virtually seals their place in the knockout stages. They're at home to Villa. This is a derby, of course, a Birmingham derby. Villa very unlucky against Liverpool last weekend. I think they're probably not going to turn the corner either. I think the furore of the derby is going to help Nuno Espirito Santo's team to a 2-1 win. Now the last of the 10 fixtures, and as you probably guessed, it's the big one of the weekend. 1 versus 2 in the Premier League, Liverpool versus Manchester City. These matches now become even more significant as both of them seem to be rolling over all opposition in sight, and so the title might come down to how they play against each other. Liverpool, of course, in the ascendancy at the moment. They didn't look that good in midweek in Champions League, however they still found a way to win. City also struggled away in Italy. I'm expecting both teams to come out firing here, and I'm going for a 2-2 draw. So you may have probably noted that in my predictions for this week, I've actually picked 4 draws, which is unlike me. They basically reflect possibly a feeling that I'm not quite sure about how they're going to perform, so sitting on the fence. Anyway, that's your predictions show for today. We'll be back with the results show. The Friday and Saturday games will probably be available on Monday, and the Sunday games on Tuesday of next week. Enjoy your football. It's one of the highlights in life and can help you escape from the depression of politics.